Hello to each of you in your respective places. I am hopeful that you are doing well in every way possible. And if not, you know what you need to do to get it together. Welcome to another segment of Conversations in the Nick of Time. I am your host, Nikki Roach. And on this platform, we talk about and explore matters around leadership excellence, accidents, and equity. Well, I had to calm myself before we started this show today because of my guest. He is out of the UK, has spent some time in the States, and he is just an absolute joy. I know you can feel the vibrations through your speakers, whether it's on a laptop, cell phone, the actual radio dial. We're using all these different platforms. But today we're going to talk about something that's a little personal to me when we're talking about leadership excellence, leadership accidents, leadership equity. And in those spaces, a lot of time we are focused on leading and what we're doing to shepherd, to lead, to guide other people. But we try to do those things and we get tripped up a lot of times because we've not done the proper work internally. We've not reflected upon self. Well, my guest today, Master Ade Anifowose. Yes, Anifowose. He is here to help us walk through and navigate this whole idea and concept of internal love, mature love. And he recently did a segment. He is a podcaster and a speaker, a facilitator himself. I'll get a little more into the bio, but there was something that he mentioned and we're going to focus on that. I'll give you the title in just a minute. So Master Ade Anifowose is one who is an ancestral healer, healing arts to assist people in bridging the gap between their shadow self and their light self. Ade believes in the real transformation that happens when you're willing to go within and do the necessary healing work. He is a lover of humanity who is passionate about creating outstanding, new and unique gifts of healing, not just for me or you, but for the world. And he is doing just that, not only through word, spoken word, not only through demonstration, but he's also a sacred drummer. And I am fascinated. I've not experienced it live, but I have virtually through some of the recordings. And when it says in his bio that he shares the vibration of healing, which breaks up stagnant energy, you'd have to try it to believe it. I can't even bring words to, and I understand the healing power of music, but that drum and the rhythm of it, absolutely amazing. Otherwise, he says we are living from a mindset of separation from the realm of oneness. He is currently writing his own memoir, which chronicles his hero's journey of displacement, belonging, and identity. He is the host, as I mentioned, of Ade Presents Being You podcast. Welcome, Master Ade. How are you?
How am I? You've taken me to a place where I'm so emotional, so grateful, so thankful. Just fit right in your vibe and everything that you said. I'm like, okay, my whole body's tingling. So I'm grateful to see what we create together and experience it.
Yes. I'm just so absolutely in awe of the work that you do. And let me start there by just celebrating you a little bit, because I know oftentimes those who give have to go an extra step and outside of the norm when it comes to refueling, replenishing. So thank you for giving of your time. I know it's evening for you, and it's like we're just starting our day in the States. But to center our conversation, there were some words that I wanted to look up and understand. One thing that you talk about often is love. And we use that word so loosely because in one of your segments, you had talked about that we can love many and differently, as we mature and as we grow. And I think we just think it's just this thing, this stagnant thing, and we try to crank it up using old methods, and old mindsets, and not even allowing anyone to come in to even fill that space, not even our own selves. So when we talk about love, Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines it: an intense feeling of deep affection, a great interest and pleasure in something, like or enjoy, to like, enjoy very much, warm attachment, enthusiasm, and devotion. It goes on and on. Also, to set some context, there is this article by Forbes.com, you can find it, and it says, written by Tracy Brower, and it says, empathy is the most important leadership skill according to research. Empathy is very much love, just in a different way. And it says that empathy has long been a critical skill for leaders, but it is taking a new level of meaning and priority. Far from the soft approach, it can drive significant business results. And I wanted to tie that in because we think like, love, why are we talking about this? And you said it's all about leadership. Because the first person that you're leading is yourself.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm going to shut up and welcome you for wanting to frame our conversation around your last podcast. Suggest that we're looking for something that's not missing.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
I feel like I could just sit down and sit and just listen to you. It's like I am that rocket over here. I want to, and I feel so much energy. I mean, I tell people, I get emotional a lot, and I am maybe 90% okay with it, maybe 95% okay with it, like being teary on an interview. But I also understand that ability to connect with myself and feel that emotion is actually my gift, is actually my superpower. In a world where we judge tears, people crying, we're afraid of it. We don't want to see people cry. It's either what's wrong, or if you're crying, then you're going to make me cry. Stop crying, you're making me cry. Or sometimes somebody's going through the experience and they start to cry. They're talking about what they're going through and growing through. And as they start, tears come up, and the person next to them has already got their hands on, rocking them. It's like, get your hands off of them. Let them have the experience. Because that could be the first time that they've allowed themselves to go into their heart and allow the tears to come up. So that about tears. And the other thing that you said at the beginning, it's like nurturing what is already here. See, I believe that the mission, the intention, our destiny is to nurture what we already have. But we're conditioned in the world to go seek what we already have.
Or it's not enough.
It's not enough. Oh yeah, you got that in, you're great and whatever. And you got to earn a living. I'm going to come back to that. And if I forget, please remind me.
I'm writing it down.
So many things that come up for me as I sit with that. It's this, let's talk about nurturing what's already here.
Yeah.
Think of a seed. A farmer doesn't get seeds together and go, okay, where do I get the whatever, the orange that needs to be in the seed? Let me go buy some. Let me go to all those organic farms or stores. No, the orange, the apple, the grapes, it's already in the seed. The seed, it's a seed possibility. Some of it may not grow into bearing fruit, but it becomes fruit unto a bird. It nurtures the bird. Or it goes back into the earth and it's recycled. So when we this idea society teaches us, we got to search, we got to look for something that we've been told we don't have. We come in here with gifts. Now, there are things we do to nurture it. A musician would not say, well, I've always known I'm an artist. I've always known that I'm a singer, but they still go for music lessons. They still rehearse because you're fine tuning the gift of the divine. Good. So you're fine tuning. You're like, I'm dedicated to this. Oops, okay, yeah, energy. I'm dedicated to this.
Yes.
I'm here to nurture this seed of brilliance, of excellence. So whatever it is, whatever we're looking for, we already have. If it's a thing, someone might say, well, I get it, but come on, if I need a car, I got to go look for it. You're saying I already have it? Yes, you do. Because everything begins with a thought. So now, if I'm thinking, yeah, I get that I have everything that I need. I'm looking, I'm playing around. I'm listening to you talk about, I'm looking for something that's not missing. I'm missing a car right now, because if I have a car, I get to work on time. And then, I wouldn't have to face my supervisor that's getting on my nerves and all that story, right? But the thing is, if you have a car, what would that add to you? What difference would it make? Well, at least I can have peace of mind. Well, at least I can plan my day differently. I wouldn't have to rush. So the car is a path to having peace of mind. Mm-hmm. The intention to not have to rush every day in the morning to get to work. So when we make the peace of mind and the desire to not rush to work be the main focus rather than the car, we have a better chance of attracting what we need, because you may not have to buy a car. Because once you buy a car, now you got to get insurance, you got to do all the tests and all this stuff. And you're like, oh my God, this is costing me too much. And now my weight, it's just, we think the things add more to us, but it sometimes does add things to us that becomes a burden.
Yeah, that's true.
Nurturing what we already have. When we nurture what we came here with, we're able to get clear about the things that we want, we need, we desire. But so when we talk about leadership, and I often talk about, people say, well, you always got to be a leader. Don't be a follower. I'm always going to be a leader. Well, in order to lead, you need followers. So if you're a leader that don't appreciate what it means to be a follower, you might want to check yourself. Everybody plays their role. Sometimes the followers become leaders to us.
Yes, yes.
And it's recognizing the interconnectedness. We come here with all that we need. And I believe the mission is to now translate what we bring here.
And I totally agree. But we get so distracted,
yes,
by the things in the world. And I'm not even talking about life happenings. I'm talking about, we've got TV, we've got social media. And I've learned, take those notifications off the phone, or either put them in a time frame, because it's like we are so distracted that to even sit still, COVID, oh my God, people have been just falling apart, or like there's a lot of people, almost trying to rediscover themselves. And that's why I really wanted you to come on. And I failed to mention, yes, you are a life coach. All the other stuff that you do, you are an actual life coach. And while many of us think we can figure it out, or, we fix things and this too will pass. No, this is literally our lives we're talking about. And if we're not centered and understanding there are ways and strategies to block the distractions, no matter how strong you think you are.
Yes.
Hand up, even myself, like distracted, pulled in. And even with the social media, people laugh because, so I was off for a while, came back, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays, that's when you will see the most activity. Now this week I need to catch up because I didn't do Wednesday because I had meetings and obligations. But you've got to protect yourself, because you're talking about all of this nurturing. But if you're You're nurturing. And then also being don't get so caught up in being busy and not being productive. Two different things, because we celebrate busyness. Oh my God, my calendar's full. Oh my God. You need time to sit into yourself, how we started before we even came on. And even when you come on your show, it's like pause, inhale, exhale, counting from 10 to 1 backwards. I've been watching because it helps to center yourself. But I think we're afraid to be.
Oh my God, yes. Yes. We're afraid of our own power. So we'll defer the power. Like, I'm just this little old me. And even sometimes in our fear of our power, we end up projecting it through what we do. So we don't own it, but we show, I am this. This is what I've done. But you can show up with that same power without saying what you've done and who you are. And people are like, who are you? What do you do?
But you just said something, because I always say those who have don't sound the alarm.
Yes.
Those who are don't have to make an announcement. When I tell you, like, I'm an energy person too, and I'm telling you, when you enter into a space and you're able to shift an atmosphere or you sense a shift, that's somebody's power activating, right? And it's not a spooky thing. It's like, no, we really do possess energy.
And I was feeling the energy when I was sitting here before you came on, and when you came on and we started talking, I was like, whoo, it's like energy now dancing together. Now, energy, let's talk about energy real quick. Energy, people say, I don't know what that is. Oh, maybe people do know what it is. Oftentimes when we're talking about energy and how we connect with one another, sometimes people call it vibe. Sometimes we call it chemistry. A good example would be Kiki Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya, who were promoting this new movie called Nope. You watch their interview and you're like, wait a minute, the chemistry. We can make that mean something. Oh yeah, they must be going together. They must be in a relationship. But there is chemistry.
But we've tainted relationship.
Yes.
Go back.
Yes. So when we understand energy, because somebody can come in and be joyful and they're not even trying to, we notice it. Sometimes we judge it. Like, why they're so happy? What's really going on? It could be at a DMV. They're coming in there all dressed up looking. But then if somebody comes in who didn't take a shower, who hasn't taken showers for days, who hasn't shaved, cleaned themselves, or they're wearing clothes they've been wearing for the past 2 weeks, when they show up, see your face right there, we feel that energy. We notice that energy. So energy is important, and we must be responsible for the energy that we're transmitting into the world, that we're bringing into the room, that we're bringing into a conference, that we're bringing to our clients. And sometimes we bring an energy, we bring a funky energy, and we see it reflected back to us from a client and say, oh, they're so tough. They were so hard. I don't like clients like that. Sometimes that's true. They could be tough. But if you're bringing that energy of groundedness, that I'm going to recognize you as an expression of the divine, that I know that you and I are one on some level. We're connected. And you may be bringing up stuff for me right now and I'm saying, oh my God, I still got 30 minutes with you. Woo, this is the longest 30 minutes. What can I do in that moment? I can slow it down.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Calm my nervous system down. So I remember that, this is just another human being. I don't know what they're dealing with. I don't know what they're going through. And when I give myself the time and the space to just be easy, talk about empathy, to relate with the person on a different level, they might just open up, because I have now shifted my energy, which has shifted the energy that we're part of. And they might say, I don't know why I even want to tell you this, but today's been really hard. My husband just walked out this morning. Oh, my child is in the emergency room. So all that judgment at first becomes, oh my God, I feel so bad, but because I took the time to just pause. Okay, God, this is challenging.
So here we go with the power of the pause, right?
Yes.
Because you raise another great point. We must be responsible with our energy and how we can control a situation. We always talk about controlling the narrative, but we can actually control the energy and the outcome, which impacts outcomes. That's how we're going in so aggressive, so assertive, wanting people are going to do what they want to do. I don't think you necessarily have to sell people on stuff. And we do business, we do things, we invite people because of what? Because it's something about them. That's the energy, right? Or like, they were cool. There was some energy we picked up on. There's some power. There is a connectedness, as you say. Even when we, I think about myself and when different sister friends come together, and it can be a host of outcomes to happen. We go out, we brunch, we have a good time. Someone new is introduced to the group that week. Some will feel that person, some won't, but it does depend on, I can tell you now, thinking back, like those who were trying to show they could fit in versus those who knew they didn't need to fit in because they were in. They were the thing they already found. And they weren't looking for something that was missing. They knew that they were the missing piece.
They know they're carrying it. They bringing it with them. They've invested in it growing, nurturing, as you said at the beginning. They've nurtured it and they keep nurturing it. It's not a one-time thing. You keep nurturing your energy. Your energy, for people who may think, I don't know what that energy thing, that's new age or whatever. Think of your spirit.
Yeah.
Think of your essence, your presence. And it's an everyday thing. You nurture it every day. You remind yourself of who you are. You remind yourself that love is so much more than a feeling. When I'm talking about a mature love, I'm talking about being able to love when it's hard to love.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. That's the ultimate love. Choosing to love.
It's not, I get butterflies. That's good. That's a part of admiration, I believe. And then the process of attaching yourself to something outside of self. But I think you should feel it for yourself first. Bringing it back to
and love, I'm going to say something that may not be so life-changing, life-altering, but it might be. The only love we are going to get to feel, the love that we feel, that we experience, is based on the amount of love we are allowing. The love that you allow is what you're going to experience. So even when you're in a romantic relationship, because that's like another place where we get to experience unconditional love. In most relationships, or every now and then, or when people fall in love, that love that I am feeling when I'm in a relationship, a romantic relationship with another, it's what I'm generating.
And attracting.
Because I'm generating it.
And I'm not even talking about the intimacy. Sexual intimacy.
Exactly.
I'm talking about a genuine, mature love, as you said.
Yes.
That allows me to show up, and there is a lightness of being, and people notice it.
Yes. Yes.
But I want to back up a little bit because you mentioned a word, investment. Investing in this energy, investing in this love, investing in this level of intimacy.
Yeah.
We're shortchanging ourselves. I already know that.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're bankrupting ourselves.
But we're trying to give away something we don't have. I always say you can't give what you don't have. You can't go where you've not been. You can't even lead where you've not been. Exactly. So if you're not investing in nurturing, we're not even really, are we really living our best lives?
That's it. See, that's the thing, like this idea of earning a living or living life. Earning a living versus living life. See, the investment, there's the word, they're successful. They're successful. But let's break that down. Successful. Put 2 L's on it. when someone is successful, they have recognized that they are successful. So my mission is to release the success that is already here. I don't need to look to be successful. It's not missing. We are all successful. We are all powerful. We are peaceful. So when I invest, I get to understand the success that is in me, the gifts, the talents, what represents success for me. So then that investment in taking time to be quiet in the morning, in the afternoon, turning down, turning off, tuning down the distractions to just be with me, to hear the voice of God, the voice of spirit, whatever name you call it, it really doesn't matter to me, but to hear a voice that transcends human experience, the voice of wisdom, the voice of love, that's invested. So it's like a farmer who has that seed is going to wake up maybe 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure they're tilling the soil, watering it, making sure things need to be pruned. That's an investment in self. You're already successful. You're already powerful.
That is
so the investment is to release it.
Okay, so and that's where the pipeline gets clogged.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to do, we just did, we do some centering. We nurture and invest in this energy and understanding we are already successful and powerful.
Yes.
But it doesn't get out to the world because now we're questioning back to the distractions. And I love how you said earlier, it's not a one-time, these strategies are not a one-time thing. And I have learned that because if you're evolving, which you should be, then things gonna look different. And that's important to make these habits, not just the thing we do. Like we're not just gonna do, oh, it's December 31st. We're about to go into a new year and I have these resolutions. I have this vision board, and where is it now? We're halfway through more than halfway through the year. Where's that board? But you also
the response might even be, what board? Oh, my vision board. Oh, I don't know.
I don't knock them. My thing is I don't want to cut and paste and have a good time that kind of stirs up some childish energy and good energy. And no, how do I execute? And that's where, but part of that lack of being able to execute properly is this exact topic that we're talking about. Because now we're trying to look for something that is not missing, but we are not disciplined is the word I'm looking for. The next word I'm looking to build upon.
Yeah.
But before we go there, investment. You gave us a couple things of what that, because someone may say, well, what is that? What does an investment look like? Yeah. You mentioned minimizing distractions, sitting still. Give us a couple more.
Really, start when you wake up. Invest in yourself in the morning. Sit still, get quiet. Journal if you need to.
Yeah.
To write. Journaling for me, the process as I do this, funny enough, I was thinking about it this morning, there's something called automatic writing. I don't know, that doesn't align with me to say that's what I do, but what I do, how I see what I do is intuitive writing. So for me, I could ask a question. I'll ask the question, write it, and then I listen to that higher wisdom and write the answer. Now, I'm not even saying, some people, this might be new to them, so I'm not even suggesting that. If you just wake up in the morning and dump your thoughts and get your journal, oh my God, here I am today, I got to go to work. I am grateful, but I'm not a morning person. I really need to, just write it. Don't get politically correct. I don't want to be offensive to God. None of that. Just write your truth. My back hurts. I'm grateful for my children, though. Well, today actually is not a bad day. And, I don't know how it's going to go. I've got a test coming up. Just write. Just dump the thought. Because when we wake up, the moment between when we've just woken up and just what I call half asleep, half awake, is a powerful place to be. That's before like if you have a dog, and the dog is sitting in the corner like this, and then you open the door and the dog goes, You're like, mommy's here. See, before, when your conscious mind goes, he's awake, she's awake, and it's like, oh, today's Monday. I hate Mondays. Oh, I'm too tired. I wish I had my own job. But just get your journal and get that out, because it's energy, thoughts, energy. It's an energy that wants to be released. When we don't, it just recycles. So journal, just write, whatever it is.
And it sounds
whatever language.
Yeah, and it sounds like corny, but I started it because I was like, you're right. I'm not trying to write this early in the morning because, okay, let's be realistic. Like a lot of us are hammering that snooze button and then getting up, and it's kind of like we're up and we're moving, frantic.
Yes.
I read an article about how snoozing really causes us to feel less rested. So, and devices no longer allowed in the bedroom.
Yes, exactly.
And I wasn't no TV person in the bedroom for a long time. This is what we're talking about: investments, like giving yourself time. Don't be afraid to be alone by yourself. You need that time. It's like driving a car, and at some point you've got to stop that car to put in gas, to go get service. Try driving that car with no oil.
Whether you like it or not, right?
Lock up and shut down. That's the same with these bodies. It will lock up and shut down, but you're still pushing through and doing more damage by trying to push through this locked spirit, this locked energy.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, so journaling, centering this, and I've learned stop rushing so much. So I had to learn how to time management. And I know this, some people may be like, what does it have to do? I promise you, if you are always rushing somewhere, you're not making the best decisions. Your thoughts aren't clear because you're ping-ponging everywhere. So I had to learn better time management. And I put in one of my investments was to learn how to time block and block out my time and include myself in that time block.
Yes.
It
makes a difference. And for somebody who's saying, you don't understand what I have to do. I got a corporation to run. I got an organization to run. I got things, people that I'm responsible to. Okay, great. But in the front end, give yourself the time to be still, to be quiet. Where I've got children, you don't understand. Once they're up, my whole days, start getting up earlier. That's the discipline. Discipline is an investment.
But
maybe it's at night. It could be at night before bedtime. And it could be 5 minutes. 5 minutes with yourself, with your spirit. And the Bible talks about the body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. I mean, that is such a powerful statement that we go, yes, but whatever you call it, that your body, this physical body is holding a presence, a power that sometimes people say they're praying to. So you are a living, breathing Holy Spirit. And if you don't invest in your Holy Spirit, how do you expect yourself to be holy when you're out there? Because you haven't even spent time with your holiness. You haven't sat long enough. It's like, yeah, I love you, but I got to go. Yeah, I'll be back. If it's a human relationship with a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and we treat someone like that, after a while, they're like, you don't really need me. You don't really need me.
Oh my God. But just think, we do that to ourselves, though.
That's my point.
We cheat ourselves. Oh my goodness. So we go above and beyond. Just think about when you first connect with a person.
Yes.
You are bending over backwards. You're leaving work early when you should be using vacation days to go to dinner or to go on a little weekend getaway. You
talk all night on the phone, sleep for an hour, still feel energized.
and you're getting your best outfits, going and spending money to up your game, buying gifts and cleaning up when company, like you do all this extra stuff for others. But we fail to put that same energy, that same nurturing, that same investment, that same discipline for ourselves. So we think, and this is what I was saying earlier, you think you're showing up. You're really not present.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Woo! This is too much. Too much.
And when we betray ourselves, when we cheat on ourselves, then we start looking for what's not missing, because we think the love is missing, self-worth is missing, I am not enough. And then we're programmed by the things that we find ourselves engaged in, the reality TV shows, not knocking it, and you can watch it. But however, are you bringing balance to it? Are you bringing balance to your life? Like you said something earlier about us being afraid of ourselves. We are so powerful that if we just sit for a minute, sometimes 30 seconds, to think of what we can do, what we can create. Like, ooh, I don't know if I can do that. Well, you don't know if you cannot do it. So set yourself up when we really recognize. Because I used to kind of like push back at the idea of everything you need is within you.
Oh, I totally believe it.
Yes. It's a different way of living and thinking, because all the other things, the external things, are saying you have to do A, B, C in order to get here, or you have to look like this. You have to have a certain amount of content. You have to do it at a certain time. You got to post so many things. You got to write books. You got to do that. And those things, they have their place. But if you as the writer are not investing in the fact that you are the writer, that you are the CEO of your own life, that you're not so much really teaching or getting or instructing, you're actually being. You are being it. And the more, it's an ongoing thing. We spend more time on our physical relationship than we spend on our spiritual relationship. Some people take a shower at night, some people take it in the morning. But to take time with self, to invest in who you are. What do I want to see today? What's my intention for today? What do I want to accomplish? Just sitting down saying, how do I want to navigate this day? And even if you don't have an answer, to say, okay, God, ancestors, help me. Guide me today. Today seems going to be a heavy day. I'm going to be in a meeting all day long. I'm going to be on Zoom for 6 hours. I don't even know how I'm going. Ancestors, I'm calling on you. Your ancestors are not in the past. They're right with you. All that experience, all that wisdom lives in you. And sometimes we must challenge our own beliefs, because we have other people's beliefs and we say it's ours. And we live by it, and we wonder why we are not experiencing success, because we're told you don't have time for that. You got to hustle. Don't worry about sleep. You sleep when you die. I'm like, shut up. Just stop. Just stop with that.
And then we buy into this whole, the us and them. And
yes.
And them meaning like, we get into this, like, oh, I can never do that, and it's like, no, like, I think, yes, I wholeheartedly believe we have everything we need to be successful. But when I say the us and them, because you're now comparing yourself, we are comparing ourselves, guilty charge, to where you start to do more, you start to get a little momentum. And really, when you start, that momentum starts in that rhythm, you find that rhythm of life, other stuff starts popping up, and you think you've mastered what had happened a year last year, but you are a different being. You were in a different place then. Yes. So the tools and the investment looks different.
It's different.
It should anyway. And
I mean, we just went through. Well, we're still probably going through this pandemic thing, right? You talked about the lockdown earlier. Life is screaming in a very gentle way. Slow down. This is more than just a virus. This is something in us individually and collectively calling us back to ourself.
I believe that.
Life is different. The way it was, there's a dying happening, not just a physical death, but the way we think, the way we show up, the way we be, who you're being in the world. It's time to do something different. And there's a new world that's being birthed through us. And if we keep trying to do things the way we've always done it, we're living in the past. You're going to repeat. Oh, actually, you're feeling overwhelmed. There's so many of us that feel so overwhelmed because we're still trying to now keep up and catch up. I have To-do list that just goes from to-do list to today list to tomorrow list to next week's list. It's like, oh, I haven't done that. Just before the interview, I remember something. I was like, oh, let me hurry up and do it. And then I realized there's something else I needed to do. And I said to myself, so you're trying to rush, just chill out. So I'd made a note to myself, chill out.
And so that's what I have learned very well, which was, and that's the discipline that I thought I had. I realized I did have it. And so we'll come to this place and we'll talk about grace in our last moments. But I had to learn real grace towards Nikki.
Yes.
Because give it to other people, going back to like, oh, no worries, no problem. But for me, if I forget to dot an I or put a comma behind a word, oh my God, and I submitted that, like I'm falling apart.
Yes.
It's not the end of the world. It's all good. But I had to slow down, which allowed me to catch more, mistakes, which allowed me to show up with a normal pace of breathing, not, where did I? Those things matter. And then we all worried about our brand, our personal brands and how we show up. If this isn't together, get a brand. Even being a business or a person of choice. I'm trying to get us to understand this foundational work that we think is so like, oh, that's for them, or I'm not there. I'm good. I'm telling you, you have to make sure that you make time for yourself. You have to make sure that you are centered, grounded, whatever word you want to use. But there are strategies. We've talked about giving self permission. We've talked about being responsible with energy. We've talked about nurturing. We've talked about investment. Having the being obedient to allowance for these things, and for love and empathy and all that to happen. But now grace.
Yes.
Give us your take on grace.
Whew. So many things come up for me. For me, grace is giving myself permission to listen to that higher wisdom, the voice of God, the voice of the divine, the voice of life. To listen. And then when it comes to how I apply that, to be obedient, as you said earlier, to be obedient to that. And to remember that not only am I loved, I am already loved. But I would not know the fact that I'm loved until I fall in love with myself. And falling in love with myself means being compassionate even with my mistakes. This work that I do and other people that you're doing, I'm sure sometimes there's a topic you talk about and you're like, this is exactly what I'm going through right now. The last podcast that I did, we're searching for something that's not missing. That's my story. I keep trying to grab here and there and grab and grab and grab. Right? The Spirit showed me, listen, you have what you're looking for. Just nurture it. Trust in it, lean into it. Yes, you come across different sometimes. Yes, you have stories about, it doesn't matter. Because here's one thing I know. Life is committed to breaking us open. Life will keep coming. Life is relentless because life knows that we are a seed of transformation. A seed has to break open to birth a new life. So life wants to birth itself as me, as you, as us. So it's going to do everything it knows to do to break us open. So when I'm going through the break open process, have I done the work? Have I practiced discipline? Have I stopped long enough to know that this is challenging, that when I get nervous, when I get scared, when I'm afraid, when I'm in pain, when I'm struggling, can I just give myself a moment of grace? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm afraid. I feel like my life is falling apart. I need help. And the truth is, grace is recognizing that sometimes you can't give you what you're looking for. You need support. You need assistance. You need a therapist. You need a counselor. You need a minister. Find somebody who's going to speak the truth, but not minimize what your experience is. Even if the professional understands that there is more, because that's, as you focus on giving yourself grace, you become the energy of grace. You get attracted. You find yourself attracted to articles and books that helps you to reaffirm what it means to be graceful, to yourself. And then you start meeting people. So even in your, there's a word that's kind of like floating, but you're doing something and it's, for example, let's use the car thing. You think, all I need is a car. If God could just give me a car, if life could just ask, all I need is a car. There's somebody who can just allow you to talk. I'm tired of him. He don't do what he needs to do. I'm tired of my job. I'm tired. This business driving me crazy. The government, I don't know what they're doing. One minute they say they're going to fund it. I don't even understand. But you have somebody who can allow you to express that frustration, to vent longer, because they hold that energy, that space that you might say, you know what? After venting, it just happens because you've got the space of love to release the frustration, like the journaling. You've allowed it to come out.
I love that.
I really don't, I can really make this work without the funding. They keep making me go through hoops. I just had an idea. I had somebody I met at a restaurant that gave me their card. You know what? I just love talking to you. You always help me. And the person knows, like, yes, I'm helping you. But what I'm really doing is being a healer, holding the space for your healing.
Yeah. And
so grace allows us to tap into the truth.
Yeah.
It's a discipline. It's an ongoing thing.
And I'm so happy that you brought up release.
Yeah.
And the importance of it, because we think, I don't want to paint a picture that we're just walking around just being so in love with ourselves, full of empathy. But no, that's why I keep going back to being responsible, being disciplined, nurturing, investment. This is work.
It is work. And you won't, I don't want to say like that. I don't want to say like that. But you have an appreciation for love the more you are willing to look at parts of you, aspects of you that you don't love. We call it, sometimes you say, doing the shadow work, the part of you that you want to deny. You are the light already. And if you can turn and look to yourself and say, yes, there's some stuff I need to work through. There's some trauma that I've been masking. I've been overcompensating. There's a truth that I'm not telling about my finances. There's a truth I'm not telling about my relationship. Get honest. That's grace. Get honest with yourself. It's not easy.
But it's when I say freeing, and it starts with small things. Don't go so large so fast. I love how you said, those methods of grace and ways to, I could have did this better, but we gave what we had at the moment.
Yes.
Show back up, and this opportunity comes again. This is how we will approach it. And you move on, and the next thing comes around. But being able to do that, because there are more people imprisoned who are walking around.
Yes. And there are people in prison who are free.
That's exactly where I was.
Yes. Yes.
But it takes honesty. It takes honesty. We talk about vulnerability all the time. It is not a dirty word. It's not a bad word. It is not about a gender thing. Well, that's for the women. No, I'm telling you, if you think you've experienced some level of happiness, joy, success, I'm telling you, you take the steps, and as they say, tiptoe if you must, tiptoe into this space, because I'm telling you, have not lived. And when people will ask me, they're like, man, like you look so, people this year, which is so funny, people have, very bold, like, what's new in your life? Like, something's different. Oh my God, like I tell them I am doing so well from the inside out. That is my response.
Yes.
And why? Because I took the time, and I'm still taking the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not easy. And we always think some dark thing has happened. No, it's just life. The demands of life can get you to the point to where, you know what, it is what it is.
Yeah.
No more fighting me. No, as Master Ade has told us, you have what you need.
We have it. We have it. I have it. You have it. We have it. And you know, this is not going to sound like a practical thing to do, but it is. Be willing to die to your old self on a daily basis.
You speak our language on this platform.
Be willing to die. Be willing to die. Because if you're not willing to die and don't embrace the idea of dying, it's hard to really live. There is no life without death.
Yeah.
You know, to put in a Christian terms, there's this whole thing where we talk about Jesus was crucified, but there's no resurrection without Jesus being crucified. And sometimes we talk about the death, but we're talking about the resurrection, but don't want to talk about the death.
Yeah.
To act, the seed has to die for a new life to emerge. A baby dies to the spirit world, the spirit realm, to be born here. Mm-hmm. So life is calling for us to die to the moments like, oh, that presentation, I could have done better if I started earlier. Okay, I know better. I trust the process. Mm-hmm. And be better next time. Yeah. Be better next time.
And then there is, I know there's a couple of renditions of this quote, but there is this one, and I know I found one from Les Brown where it says, everyone is born unique, but most of us die copies. And there's another rendition of it that says, we were all born originals, but we spent most of our time attempting to be a carbon copy.
Yes.
And so the thing, you know, bringing that up to say, like, your journey, we've talked about a whole lot in our time together. As we wrap up, you've got to come back. If your journey is your journey, don't look at the person next to you. Now, I'm all about accountability and community, but if community and whoever's holding you accountable, yours won't look like theirs, whatever that path is. And so be your original self, because your original self is exactly what the world is missing. Now, that's what's missing, is you showing up in your original, authentic self.
So don't go looking for yourself. You're already with yourself, and other people will be the mirror for you to see yourself. And whatever you see that you don't like, grace, empathy for yourself. Like, okay, because some of the things that we see that we don't like doesn't necessarily mean it's ours. Maybe something that was passed to us from our ancestors, from generation to generation. There's a habit, there's a behavior, there's a thought that was passed on. And now, because I am willing to look at it, I'm willing to sit with it. So, you know, wait a minute. I see this in my siblings. I see this. Oh, and when we stop to make room for that thing that we once judged, and we welcome it, say, God, I don't understand what this is, but I'm going to be with it. I'm actually going to listen to the message that it has for me. Yeah. And it reminds me to stop searching for what I think is missing.
So I usually ask for our thoughts in the nick of time that could help us move forward, and you just gave them. Mm-hmm. But I do want to ask you one word that you want us to make sure we ponder on as we move forward in our journey.
One word.
One word.
Trust.
Trust. And I'm going to challenge everybody. I am a true educator. I love defining words. I don't like just running across words. So homework assignment for everyone listening, look up trust and figure out, how does this word show up in your life, where it needs to show up in your life, where you desire for it to show up in your life. Mm-hmm. Trust, Trust. Mm-hmm. Where can we find out more about your gratefulness?
On YouTube and IG, Instagram is at Life Coach Ade, Life Coach ADE. My website address is lifecoachade.com. I invite people to sign my mailing list so you can catch up and keep up with what I'm doing. I'm going through a major shift right now. And I'm working on a new website, and really just helping us remember that we're part of something greater, and our ancestors are cheering for us. They live in us. We are our ancestors, and our ancestors are here. So that's a collective wisdom. You're not alone. You're not alone. So lifecoachade.com and at lifecoachade. Ade is ADE.
Now, do you have any special events coming up?
Not at this moment, but I'm actually going away for about 5 days. I'm going to come back with some things, download some new thoughts. I got an event that I do called Representing Our Ancestors, Representing Our Stories. I think I'm gonna do something in September, but I don't have a date yet.
Okay, but that's gonna be in the UK, right?
No, it's online.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
God is everywhere evenly present, so I am everywhere evenly present. I don't limit my gifts. No, I am successful. I know I can reach people. No. Funny enough, most of my clients, people that I work with in America, because I lived in America for like 25 years. I mean, I'll be back, but most of the people that I work with are in America, and I adapt my time to American time, or my schedule, should I say? Yes.
All right. And then the podcast, we can hear you is it first and third Tuesday?
Well, no, it's every Tuesday. Okay. I know why you said that, because I noticed that a few months ago, but I've been so busy. I'm like, oh my God, for over a year, I just missed it, because there was a time I was doing first and third Tuesday, but I haven't changed the intro. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Yes. Life Coach Ade, yeah.
Okay, we'll plug all that information in for our listeners to get connected and learn more and experience. This is what you're dropping on your podcast, and I'm guaranteed that you will grab some nuggets that will make your path brighter in regards to how it is that you show up. Ade, thank you so much. Blessings to you, my friends, from across the pond.
Thank you for this moment. Thank you for your yes. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for introducing me to your audience, and just the energy that you bring to the room, because I feel so high right now. And that's the beauty when we come together, bringing your whole self. And this is a gift. Yeah, it's a gift. It's a blessing.
And I say the same. I echo the same sentiments. This has truly been awesome. This will take me through probably the next 5 days, dissecting this conversation. As I mentioned, look forward to having you back at some point. And understand we are a platform that's here to help support you as well. So let us know in ways that we can show up and do that. I want to thank Sparkman Publications, KSTL 690 Jubilee, and Covenant Exchange for your continued support and love for the platform. Thank you for tuning in for another segment of Conversations in the Nick of Time. I'm your host, Nikki Roach, and you can go to nikkiroach.com to learn more about the show, to watch shows on demand, as well as possibly sign up to be a guest. Until the next time, you know you already have everything you need to be successful, and that's success as you define it. Now just go and tap into it and go and be great.